Before dawn in Russia's Bryansk region, a blinding flash shattered the darkness. It was October 17, 2025, 4:17 a.m. A train loaded with $800 million in North Korean artillery sped toward Ukraine, but never made it. Ukraine struck deep inside Russia, igniting massive explosions. Destroying the train here crippled a key supply line, blocking tracks for days. For Ukraine, every shell destroyed meant lives saved. The attack proved Ukraine could strike deep and change the war's trajectory. Ukraine could now reach and destroy Russia's most valuable assets far from the front. The Bryansk explosion was the result of a desperate alliance: Russia and North Korea. With its own stockpiles dwindling, Moscow traded food, fuel, and technology for millions of North Korean shells. Satellite images revealed a steady flow of cargo ships from North Korea to Russia, then trains westward to Ukraine. This partnership violated UN sanctions, but for both regimes, survival trumped legality. North Korea gained resources and tech. Russia got the firepower to sustain its war. The destroyed train was a key link in this clandestine supply chain, a major monthly shipment now gone. The message was clear: Ukraine and its allies are watching, and these secret deals are vulnerable. Every ship, train, and warehouse is now a target. The lifeline keeping Russia's artillery strategy alive is fragile and can be severed at any moment. Not all shipments are equal. The Bryansk train was a jackpot, packed with 152 mm and 122 mm shells, the backbone of Russia's artillery. Its destruction created a shell famine for Russian units, forcing commanders to ration ammo or scale back offensives. Intelligence suggested this shipment was rushed to support a major Russian push in Donbass before winter. Now that offensive is delayed or canceled, giving Ukraine time to reinforce. In modern war, logistics are everything. Destroying a supply line can outweigh a dozen battlefield victories. Russia's reliance on predictable, exposed railways is a weakness Ukraine exploited. Striking deep inside Russia forced Moscow to divert resources to protect supply lines, stretching its military thin. Every soldier guarding a railway is one less on the front. The attack exposed Russia's vulnerabilities and forced it into a costly logistical scramble. Ukraine's strike was a masterclass in targeting what matters most: the enemy's ability to fight. The war's momentum shifted with a single well-placed blow. This wasn't luck. It was the result of weeks of meticulous intelligence work. Allied satellites watched North Korean ports, tracking cargo loaded onto Russian ships. Once in Russia, Ukrainian intelligence and local informants followed the cargo's transfer onto a special military train. Human sources confirmed the shipment's contents and security, turning satellite data into actionable targets. The train's journey, over 5,000 kilometers, was monitored by satellites, electronic eavesdropping, and a network of partisans. Real-time updates created a digital trail, allowing Ukrainian planners to predict its movements. The strike location was chosen for maximum impact, a remote stretch of the Bryansk corridor, far from civilians. Patience paid off. The trap was set where the train was most vulnerable, and the response would be slow. Ukraine waited for the perfect moment, then struck with precision. The operation showcased the power of combining technology, intelligence, and local resistance. The attack was a showcase of modern warfare: precision, coordination, and technology. First, reconnaissance drones confirmed the train's location and ensured no civilians were nearby. As the train entered the kill zone, long-range attack drones disabled the locomotives, stranding it. Then, a swarm of FPV drones, each a flying bomb, targeted the most volatile cars. Operators, using real-time video, steered drones into the ammunition cars, triggering a chain of massive explosions. The result: total destruction. The fireball consumed the entire convoy. Multiple drone waves overwhelmed the train's defenses, guaranteeing success. The operation minimized risk to Ukrainian forces while maximizing damage to the enemy. It was a textbook example of how a smaller, tech-savvy force can devastate a larger adversary. The message: Ukraine's drone warfare is rewriting the rules of conflict. Russia's supply lines are now exposed, vulnerable, and under constant threat. The age of precision strikes has arrived. After the attack, chaos gripped Bryansk. The train was a burning skeleton, explosions echoing for hours. Russian officials blamed a technical malfunction, censoring news and downplaying the disaster. But local videos showed the truth: a massive fire, relentless blasts, and a devastated supply line. The Kremlin's denials crumbled when Western satellites released high-res images: charred train cars, scorched earth, and a ruined railway. The evidence was irrefutable, exposing Russia's lies and turning a regional incident into global news. The destroyed track would take weeks to rebuild, severing a critical military route. Russia faced a logistical nightmare: lost ammunition, blocked supply lines, and a major embarrassment. The world saw the power of open-source intelligence in real time. The contrast between official denials and satellite proof eroded the Kremlin's credibility at home and abroad. The incident was more than a setback. It was a public relations disaster for Moscow. The fireball in Bryansk became a symbol of Russia's vulnerability. The information war was lost as quickly as the train itself. The strike's impact rippled far beyond the battlefield. Russia's frontline units, already rationing shells, now faced even tighter shortages. The Kremlin must choose protect supply lines or reinforce the front. Either way, resources are stretched thin. The Russia-North Korea arms deal is under pressure. If Ukraine keeps intercepting shipments, the risk may outweigh the reward. The international community now has concrete evidence of illicit arms transfers, fueling calls for tougher sanctions. But the attack also highlights the challenge of stopping this trade. One train down, many more to go. The strike warns other potential arms suppliers. Involvement carries real risks. Ukraine and its allies have shown they can track and destroy shipments deep inside Russia. Any nation aiding Moscow must now weigh the cost of global condemnation and retaliation. The stakes for doing business with the Kremlin have never been higher. The world reacted swiftly. In Kyiv, officials hinted at responsibility, declaring any military object supporting Russia's war a legitimate target. Western leaders voiced cautious approval, calling the strike a blow to Russia's desperate reliance on North Korean arms. The EU condemned the arms trade as a grave threat to global security. Russia and North Korea responded with outrage, denouncing the attack and warning of consequences. China urged restraint, avoiding blame but calling for calm. The UN expressed concern over escalation and the risks of attacks on hazardous infrastructure. Calls for diplomacy were drowned out by the reality of a war entering a new, unpredictable phase. The strike showed that battlefield actions now outpace diplomatic efforts. The destruction of the North Korean ammo train marks a turning point. A victory of intelligence, technology, and precision over brute force. Ukraine's new doctrine targets logistics, not just front lines, using drones and real-time intelligence to strike deep and disrupt. Each successful attack forces Russia to divert resources, weakening its war effort. This strategy of logistical decapitation is now central to Ukraine's defense. The future of war belongs to those who can collect, process, and act on information faster than their enemy. Precision, speed, and brains are the new power. Ukraine's innovation offers a blueprint for smaller nations facing larger foes. The Bryansk fireball wasn't just the end of a train, it was the dawn of a new era in warfare.